coming up next. We have round 3, heat 4. Thomas Deák, who I was going to interview on the beach earlier, Finn Flügel, Borja Vellon, and Alex Soto. Okay, we are back in the heat box for the latest action from the GKA Kite World Tour. And this hydrofoil big air discipline, one of the more exciting innovations within the sport. Using the power of the hydrofoil to deal with these light wind conditions and gain some massive height in combination with a kite. Is there anything that isn't possible? Some of these riders are making it look too easy, but it's only going to get better as this wind picks up. Such a great location here on the beautiful island of Sylt in Westerland in northern Germany. It's the perfect spot for this sort of water sports action. One of the OG locations for water sports contests dating back to the 80s. Got a huge history of some windsurfing World Cups, kitesurfing World Cups, and supporting our amazing water sports industries with some of the biggest prize money events of all time. Yeah, famous big names like Robbie Nash and all sorts of big named riders gracing these shores over the years to compete against the world's best. We're here again today in this next heat of round 3, heat 4. Thomas Deák opening up the betting with the yellow lycra, 4.37, followed by Finn Flügel. Here he goes. One of the riders to watch here. Nice clean landing. Nice clean landing. Let's have a little replay. All riders compulsory wearing a helmet for this discipline. Little foot strap varial there. Sneaky. Gets his feet back in nice and easy, and then you can really see how these riders are changing their center of rotation by bringing their arms in to the center of the bar and just ramping up that rotation. Really helps them to control it, to generate speed through the spin, and then when they open up again, to slow that spin down. Okay, next up is Borja Vellon, who we just heard from on that beach interview there. Prepped and ready for these conditions. I heard him talking earlier a little bit about just getting experience in the heats, on the water, and in competition. For him, this is a great event and a great opportunity for that. Riding against some of the best big air hydrofoilers in the world. Just gaining that heat strategy, heat experience, and showing what he's got. Let's see it. Make sure you follow along the GKA social media. Check the GKA World Tour out on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whichever channel you prefer, for the highlights and the best clips of the day, all coming to you as soon as this event, as soon as each day is finished. You'll be hearing interviews, rider feedbacks, best trick clips, all the latest action across all the GKA medias. So stay tuned on your favorite platform. Here we go, big, nice, clean takeoff. Steezing it out there, Borja, with nice multiple airwalk variation. Let's get a replay. Perfect takeoff, nose grab, using that front foot strap to go into that back roll rotation. Nice, slow, delayed one. Expert control, drops into the landing, nice and clean. We've got some comments coming in on the live stream. Will they definitely do the semi-finals today? I mean, we're kind of, locked into the conditions here, so we're just playing it by ear, see how the conditions develop, but it is looking good. So wind is picking up, wind's building through the afternoon, so hopefully we will get to the semi-finals. Here we have Alex Soto, throwing down. He's one of the OG Kitefoil Big Air riders and one of the original Dominican crew who used to ride freestyle back in the day. So he's got all the tricks in the bag, from highly technical unhook maneuvers to insanely complicated big air combinations. And one of the first riders I've seen doing foil flips and some crazy moves with the hydrofoil. Just an incredibly versatile rider, and all the riders that come from the DR just push each other in such a good way. Such a good example of how friendly competition and riding with people that are really good on the water just can keep pushing you and keep, you know, extending your direction in the sport and your technicality. A little bit of friendly competition and riding with friends never hurt, that is for sure. And the Dominicans have that in oodles out there. Great culture of young riders being really keen on using kite surfing to go far. It's awesome. Okay, Thomas Deák showing us that experience on the board. He's definitely got some moves. He's smooth. He's using that foil kite to give him the advantage of the hang time. He's deliberate through his tricks. You can see on his first trick, 4.37. That's a good score. Not as good as Finn's there, obviously, with a 7.0 with his first trick, sitting in first place. Let's see what they can do for the combos. Here we go, Finn Flügel up next. If you've got any questions for me, let me know. Got any questions for the riders? I'll do my best to get them answered for you. Get involved on the comments in the live stream. And we will bring you the best action that this discipline has to offer right now, especially as the wind picks up throughout the week. Like, these riders are just getting warmed up, getting into their first heats, and progressing into round 3, heat 4 of the GKA World Cup here on Sylt, Germany. Epic trick there from Finn. See what he's got. Very nice. Very nice. Back roll rotation. Tic-tac. It's pretty technical, the way they're using their foot straps as grab handles. I think it really it's super interesting. Something that I think other disciplines could probably learn from, rather than these sort of huge handles that everybody's using to eliminate the need of sort of bending down too far. Used to be that nobody used handles on boards, but they seem to have crept their way back in as we go forward into the big air discipline and the development of technicality. But these guys don't seem to need them. Okay, up next, Borja Vellon. 4.90 on the board. Crowds building up on the beach. Pressure is on. 2 more scoring tricks available. What has he got for us? It's going to be interesting. We're still waiting for scores from Finn. I've got a feeling he's going to drop another biggie after that last trick that he just landed smoothly. Waiting for scores, delaying the timer. They're obviously considering Finn's last trick. Let's see what they go with. The sun has now officially come out. The temperature is rising. It's a sunny day here in northern Germany, and a perfect day to come down to the beach and watch some Hydrofoil Big Air with us here at the GKA World Tour. Myself, Tom Court, in the commentary box for the live stream. It's an absolute pleasure to be here, stoked to be amongst the best riders in the world and support the sport that I love and have been riding in for the last 25 years. Such a good, versatile sport with so much potential, and I think we're really seeing that potential exercised here with the Hydrofoil Big Air discipline, dealing with what is essentially really light wind, bad conditions, but making it look really good. There we go, we saw that score drop for Finn there as a 7.13, putting him up to a 14.13 combined total score with only 2 tricks put down. He's set to be one of the highest scorers of the event again here. Here we go, Borja, nice front roll rotation, inverted, manages to keep control and land smoothly. Probably wanted another rotation in there, but had to delay it to keep that landing certified. Did it, look, back foot strap, inverted, board off. And I reckon if he'd got his back foot in earlier, he would have probably gone for another rotation, but dealt with it, landed smoothly. These riders are really reacting to what's going on out there. If you don't kite surf, it's often difficult to kind of appreciate what's going on with the kite whilst they're going through these tricks. It really is a sort of complicated and fine-tuned reaction to the kite that you need to have when you're performing these tricks, especially through the landings. You've got to sort of gauge your height, gauge your ascent, and gauge your descent correctly so that you can pull the heli loop at the right time or get your kite into the right position for the landing. So there's a lot of multitasking, not just the trick at hand, but also the kite control, the kite steering, sheeting, and hand switching on the bar that we've seen from a lot of these riders is really very impressive. Waiting for scores there from that last trick. Alex Soto up next. Okay, we've got Alex McDonald on the stream asking what the schedule is for kiting over the next few days. The schedule for the event is it's definitely dictated a little bit by the weather forecast. It's looking like today we're going to get as far as we possibly can with the Hydrofoil Big Air. So we're going to go, I guess, as far as we can today. And then tomorrow the wind forecast is looking a little less certain, with a bit of a wind direction switch to side offshore, which could mean that we don't get to run action tomorrow, but that's not certain either because the wind forecast is changing. But it looks like through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're going to be getting some epic wind coming through. So if I had to guess, I'm not in charge, by the way, but if I had to guess, I would say there's going to be some really good action going forward into the weekend, and probably a long day of action starting pretty early on Sunday to make the most of the strongest wind conditions that we've got here. Because we've got to get the Hydrofoil Big Air done, and then following that is the strapless kite surfing. So they're going to be really leaning into that strong wind at the end of the week with hopefully some big wind swell to go with it. Okay, 4.40 for that last trick. By the looks of it, 30 seconds on the clock for Finn Flügel to put a third trick on the board. Multiple rotation front rolls on the way out, no board off. So I'm guessing that's going to add to his trick score as it's a different trick family. Nice inverted first front roll, inverted second front roll, switching it up to a non-inverted rotation, completing 5 full rotations before landing super smoothly there. It's definitely going to add to his domination of this heat. 14.13 so far, waiting for scores on that last trick. Second place, Deák, 13.70 and 10.23 for Borja Vellon in third. Okay, back to the pink lycra. Borja coming in. Going into that front roll, going for the board off, not really getting an extension. Nice landing, very nice landing. Managed to land it backwards and switch that board around on the pivot. Good control. Invert on that first front roll. 1 footer. Actually, nice little steez points there. Coming around, look, landing the foil backwards and then just pivoting it into the position to ride off. Some of the kite control maneuvers we're seeing are pretty epic. You've seen the tricks they're doing now where they're dunking their feet in the water before popping off, putting the board back on. That's just displaying kite control with some of these new kites, new possibilities emerging across the sports and across disciplines as the equipment really starts to develop. As we heard from Hugo Wigglesworth earlier, it really does make a difference how the equipment's developed over the last few years. Not just the young riders coming into the sport and sharing with us their sort of enthusiasm and inspiration for the new directions that this could go, but also, you know, the designers and the people involved in designing the equipment really getting involved to changing materials, tweaking designs. We've gone from, you know, physical tweaking designs and bridle changes and finding out how kites fly best in that regard, to changing materials and really improving the technology behind these new kites to improve their performance. So super interesting, and that's really going to lead us to a bright future across multiple disciplines, in my opinion. Where is the red flag that gets raised with their color on it? There is no, well, there are flags, but there is no specific flag for the viewer at this spot, because they are doing it with a TV screen. So there's a big TV screen that the riders can see with their color on it, so they know which turn is next. So if you're on the beach, if you're down here and you're watching the live stream and you want to know, you need to go in front of the judging box and look back at it, because there's a TV screen there with all the colors of the riders that are up next. Big up from the Isle of Wight foil crew. See the boys back at home tuning in to this epic showdown right now. Hydrofoil Big Air kite surfing discipline, round 3, heat 4 of the GKA World Tour here in Sylt, Germany. It's a pleasure for me to be part of it, to be here commentating on this development of the sport and these epic riders, some of the best riders in the world from all over the world. People coming in from New Zealand, Dominican Republic, Brazil, Germany. We've got the German foil team. Here we have Finn Flügel from Germany going out. 24 seconds on the clock. What's he got for us? Looks like we may have missed that trick on the live stream. Let's see if we can get a replay on that one. Here we go. Finn Flügel going out, front roll, takeoff, back foot strap, board off, spinning that board round like an axe, making it look steezy and dangerous at the same time. Did not get the landing. That's what I've been talking about, the landing and the technicalities of landing a hydrofoil. You want to make sure that you're going in tail fin first. That goes pretty much across all disciplines of hydrofoiling, actually. Like, you see the guys developing wake foiling these days, Noah Fliegel, the guys like that really pushing the limits of what is possible behind a boat. All of their aerials and landings, if you watch them, all tail first, especially also wing foiling, tail first landings, really break that water and kind of get that foil engaged once you've landed. It's definitely a top tip if you're getting into doing airs on your hydrofoil. You can see there, that was Alex coming in too nose heavy, causing him to literally buck himself off the board and scoring his trick a 0. Definitely not a landing. So yeah, it may seem logical that you want to dive the foil into the water to get it gripping as quickly as possible, but actually what you want to do is land tail first, stall the foil speed, and let it engage slowly so that it doesn't buck you off. Top tip from the live stream box here in Germany. Okay, Deák. going out, busting a trick. Nice, easy one. He's got a pretty good scoreline with 13.70 right now. It's not good enough to compete with Finn, but he's definitely displayed some pretty competent riding out there. Very nice style, very nice execution, clean landings. Will that up his scoreline? That's the question. Needs to better a 4.37 to increase his overall score. Going up against Finn with a 20.23 combined score. Again, up there with some of the highest scores. Not quite as high as Hugo Wigglesworth's on the last round, but pretty good. Waiting for scores there from that last trick. Yeah, there we go, GKA jumping into the commentary there, just letting everybody know that there is a big TV screen on the beach if you're here watching it live and you want to know what colours are going out and their trick is next. It's the TV screen above the judging box. Nice, Finn, just sticking that. That was the trick he was going for last. Just going for it again. And this time, sticking it, back foot, strap off, multiple rotations. Style and finesse. Boom, happy with that. That Flysurfer foil kite there, just doing the work. Borja Vellon up next, 37 seconds on the clock, pink rash vest. Let's see what he's got for us. It's good to hear from him on the beach just before this round. Obviously ready for it. Putting in a lot of work, training for the event. He's got the kite for the job, the light wind machine. See what he's got. Early pop, nice. There we go, that's that foil flip. Mast grab, end over end, foil flip. Board back on. First one we've seen landed so far this event. Let's see how the judges score that. It's definitely a level of danger, I would say, involved in this. Look at that. Throws the board, catches it by the front of the mast. I'm assuming the back of that mast would probably cut his fingers off, so not bad. I mean, wouldn't catch me doing it. Very, very nicely executed trick. Let's see what the judges are going to make of that. He's already sitting in a good position as second with a 14.86. I think that's only going to start to improve his scoreline there. Alex Soto really needing to put a third score on the board. And then if he scores higher than a 5-0, he's also going to be in a very good position. So Alex is not out of this yet. Okay, Alex Soto from the Dominican Republic coming in. The red lycra and the gong kite. Let's go. Back roll, take off, board off, double back, kite loop in a nice position in the trick. Landing a little stalled. Let's see what details we can see here. Indie, board off, steezy rotation. Loops that kite nice and early in the trick. Actually lands it really nicely, but then just sinks at the end. Don't know what the judges are going to make of that. Don't know what their policy is. Hydrofoil Big Air when it comes to butt checks, but if you sink up to your neck, I assume it doesn't count. Back to the top of the box. Tamas Deák, yellow lycra. Currently sitting in second place. Oh no, currently sitting in third place with Borja Vellon in second. Waiting for Soto's scores from that last trick. Here we go, countdown is on for his trick attempt. Back roll, boardoff rodeo, squeezing the double rotation in, landing it pretty smoothly. Was nice. Here we go. See up close and personal. It's the hand switch. Oh, he even does a little peace sign in there. I mean, for me personally, that's Steve's points. Boom. Pretty amazing what these guys have time to do in the air. Even throwing in the peace sign. Okay, Finn sitting in a very comfortable position with 2 7-point tricks on the board and a 6.10. Currently doesn't have too much work to do to stay in first place. It's going to be very difficult for anyone to overtake him. Borja would need to improve at least 2 of his major scores to get up there. There we go again. Big back roll rotation. Did not get the height. Had a lot of ambition on that trick. He wanted to squeeze another rotation in there before getting the board on. Just didn't stay up long enough. But we saw what he was going for. One thing we've seen from Finn so far is he'll probably land it in the next go. Back to Borja. Okay, if you've just joined us, we are on the sunny beach of Sylt in Westerland, Germany, northern Germany, for the GKA World Tour. And this is the Hydrofoil Big Air men's round 3, heat 4. And we've got 4 riders on the water currently. If you're watching live, welcome to the live stream. I'm Tom Court, and I'm going to be hosting the live stream live from the beach here in Germany all week. So make sure you stay tuned on the GKA social media. Look out for the link across my social medias too, and get involved in the comments. Ask any questions if you've got them about equipment, about riders, about what's going on here on the beach, what's going on after dark. Just let me know and I'll do my best to give you an answer. As well as these riders busting out the best tricks they can in these challenging conditions today. It's been up and down, the wind's changed direction, changed strength. Yeah, just generally been pretty challenging for day 1 of the competition. But they're on the water now, they're getting warmed up and into it. We've seen some epic action so far, and it's only going to get better as this wind picks up. Looking like it could get up to 17 knots eventually here this afternoon. As the sun brings that thermic breeze slightly more on shore, we're in for some action. Back to the top of the box, Deák in the driving seat. Let's see what he's got for us. Taking off back roll rodeo. Got that peace sign up in there again. And he's looking for that clean landing. Very nice. That was much better than the last one. High control on point. See what we can see in the detail playback. Look at this. Boom. Peace sign on lock. Hadn't quite got the finger extension there, if you ask me. But I don't think the judges will notice too much on that one. Probably concentrate on that clean landing more than anything else. Okay, Dave, we've had actually quite a deep dive into some foil setups so far on the live stream, but as far as what foil Finn is using, I don't know, but I'll try and get him in here after this heat and see if we can get him to talk through his setup. Hugo Wigglesworth spilled all the information on his foil setup, telling us exactly what he was using an F1 foil. Foil sizes and mast length being key generally the feedback was the smaller foil you can use for big air hydrofoiling, the better. Just giving you a little bit more flexibility with your landing speed and foil control, especially when the winds get stronger as well. So, you know, anything from a 600 foil down to a 450. I imagine some riders are even going smaller than that, especially when it gets windier. Okay, nice takeoff there, looking smooth. Great drone shot. Squeezed an extra rotation in to the detriment of the landing. He's not going to be too bothered though, because he is in a strong position. With a combined total of 20.23, Finn Flügel is by far leading this heat. Next closest, Borja Vellon with a 16.39, followed by Deák, 14.63, and then Alex Soto struggling to back up his two 5-point scores with only a 2.73. So there is room for Alex to make a considerable jump up the leaderboard, probably to second place, if he scores another high-scoring trick. Here we go, Borja Vellon. Ooh, losing his footing at the last minute there. Just sacrificing the landing. Not getting that kite flying quite right by the looks of it. Leaving opportunity for Alex Soto from the Dominican Republic to improve his 2.73 score. What can he do to get himself in the lead? Well, at least in contention with this heat. I mean, if he got a 10-point score, he would be in the lead, but I don't see that happening. Currently, let's see. Coming in, back roll, boardoff, double, landed smooth. Will it increase his scoreline? That's the question. Let's have a little detailed analysis of that. Ooh, nice. He didn't get too much extension or anything, but if there was a kite loop in that, because I couldn't see the kite, it could be a high-scoring maneuver. But now, let's go to a quick commercial break whilst we wait for those scores to come in.